Welcome back to Blood Rush League main bracket round 4. Today we have X9 versus Mercy, a very fun match between two very strong teams. First up, we have X9's pick, which is Artist, and we have Wispy on Artist here in Gashaven. Looks like we are running Ruin, Rapid Brutality, Force Hesitation, and Pain Res. And we have our first survivor here. It's Dwight. Will we get a hit? No hit here. We do get aura reading from the add-on, the shoes. And we're also, the other add-on, I believe, is gloves. So we got bird sharing the swarm if you get too close to a survivor that swarm. Very good first hit here on Dwight. And we're going to be running from 5 to Shack. And it looks like Ruin got cleansed really early here. Very unlucky for Wispy. But I think Dwight might get hit here. Very good bird by Wispy. Oh my. And that'll be our first down of the trial. Looks like we elect to go for a basement hook instead of Pain Res. It's going to be a bit tough to rescue, I feel, by the survivors, especially if Wispy decides to defend it. But we'll see. So far, we hear some gen progress, I think, by the 9 gen here. Looks to be about almost 50%, but we get it regressing with a kick, setting up some birds, maybe get a cool slingshot deck, you know, get an injure. Got a bird hit, but not an injure. We do know Renato is in mid. Oh, sorry, main. Just patrolling. We're gonna be proxying, I think, the hook at 9, 7, and 6, or 9 Shack and 6. At the same time, proxying this basement hook. If the survivors don't send someone, this is like a free second hook stage and possibly a free third hook stage. And if they will have to fight for it, as Wispy is playing very aggressively to keep this basement hook. Oh, but it looks like someone snuck into the basement and we get the unhook. It's gonna be a hook trade with Ace. Dwight getting unhooked here. Artist going to slug Ace, for the tunnel out on Dwight. Drops the pallet. Where is Dwight going to go? Dwight is going to go by 8, not getting zoned back into that bird at Shack. I think to remember, though, is Shack pallet was not kicked, so that place is still pretty strong. Ooh, Dwight touching the bird. However, that swarms them, so they could possibly get hit here. We have still one more bird charge in store. Will Wispy go for a shot here? Will they go for an M1? Dwight successfully clears. We spend our last bird shard, so we're gonna get a long cooldown on our birds, but we do get the down on Dwight, so it doesn't matter. Potentially might see a pallet save here, as we know Survivor just did main. But I think Artist is in a good position to not get hit by it. Alright, we picked Dwight here. Ace has been picked up, so there's 1 survivor main and 2 survivors in the Shack area. And I think we will get our Pain Res hook here. So we were able to cash in our Pain Res on Dwight, and that's very good to get gen regression going. We're going to be checking our gens at 5. I think with 3 gens left, like 2 hooks, 3 gens left, the potential tunnel out at 3 is very strong. So it's pretty fast unhook on Dwight. Oh, for the people! I see. Dwight is now back up to full 2 health stages. So tunnel out will be harder. You're going to have to commit a lot more time to this if you want to get it. However, if Dwight does go down and get hooked, it's going to be pretty rough. Ace getting caught here, unfortunately, as they were going in the locker to cleanse the bird, but the Artist was close enough to hit them before they could make it anywhere. And we're going to be getting our hook here. Will we see a basement hook again, or will we see a Pain Res? I'm very curious. I think a Pain Res will be good, but basement can possibly secure second. And it looks like we're opting for basement. Front hook of basement on Ace. And that'll be our second fresh hook of the trial. So we have 3 hook stages on the board. And I honestly think it's looking pretty good for Wispy here. 3 gens left, 3 hook stages on. Someone's already on death hook, so if we find Dwight and we could tunnel him out, that turns the game into a 1v3 at like 3 or 2 gens, and I think that's a very holdable position for Artist, especially if it's a very tight gen cluster like this. We get a bird hit on Dwight, so we know where Dwight is. They're somewhere around the 5 area. Sending birds towards 10, just checking. Yeah, we're just gonna go back to our game plan of patrolling our 3 gen, at the same time defending our basement hook. Another hit on Renato here. We're gonna check our basement just in case another survivor has snuck in, but I don't think anyone's down here. if there is someone down here, they were very, very sneaky. Yeah, we can see here someone bandit here on Jake is lurking to save. Lurking to save Bolitar's ace. But I think they're going to go second here. However, Jen at 5 does finish. Ace does go second. We now have 2 Death Hook survivors, and we have 4 hook stages on the board. We're at 2 gens left with a gen, like, honestly, the gen between 9 Shack and 6 is very strong. But we also have a gen at 10, which you could shoot birds at, which is nice. Like, you could line it up with the 9 gen. Will we get an injure here, potentially? Oh, no, they cleansed. Okay, it's looking pretty rough right now for this. I think the survivors are in a bit of a predicament. Like, they have to commit people to save Ward if they want to save him. They're almost going to die on hook here. So it's either do gens and let them die or commit 2 people to save. And I think they might be electing to just do generators. We're at 1 gen left. This is looking like 4K1 territory, possibly if Wispy plays this really well. We have survivors going for the unhook. Will the body block happen? We swarmed Jake here. Oh, it looks like the unhook will happen. Very good stuff. However, swarming Jake there means that Ace is swarmed, so we're gonna hit Ace here, and we could potentially maybe hit him with the birds. We do have 3 bird charges. Oh, head on! That was Renato with the head on, I believe. I think. No, I'm sorry, it might have been Dwight. But anyway, head on, very good play. Like, buying Ace there was looking very dead, considering they vaulted back into Shack with Wispy successfully mind gaming that window vault. However, we do have Jake in basement, so that's another fresh hook and another person in basement getting this threatening another 3 hook stages if they don't rescue them. We are now on 5, and if they don't rescue Jake, that's 8 hook stages. And our 3 gen is very nasty right now. I think to notice, we still have 3 pain rest hooks on the board, with Dwight being the only pain rest that has been used. We could pain rest Ace and pain rest Jake as well, because their hooks have been in basement. It looks like we have Dwight going for a save. We're going to set up a bird on the stairs. 2 birds, they swarm each other as they were hit Dwight. And we get a down here on... Oh, Dwight went down. And I think we get a down here on Bandit, on Jake. Those were very good bird placements. We're opting to slug, trying to get some, stop the gens from popping. We could cash in a pain rest on Dwight if we want more regression. And it looks like they, I think we will, because there's a pain rest hook right outside Shack, and Dwight was just right there. Pain rest on. However, the pain rest... Oh, wait, sorry, Dwight already was pain rest. My bad. It's Jake that we could pain rest. So unfortunately, sacrificing Dwight on that pain rest hook will deactivate it for some time. So maybe the pain reses will be a bit farther now. And with the gens, here at 9, having that much progress, it's it might be a bit risky to like go leave for chases and stuff. Especially with Ace. Ace is doing a really good job pressuring that 9 gen. Oh, we got a hit through the pallet here. Amazing stuff. I mean, it's NA and then what do you call that? NA and EU, right? So that there's a bit of ping here. That could have been ping, but that was a really lovely short swing to see. Will we commit to Ace? If we commit to Ace and turn this into a 1v2 without losing a generator, I think Wispy is in such a, like, it's almost a guaranteed 4k1, I think, in a 1v2. They're doing such a phenomenal job holding this 3 gen. And the survivors are doing a really good job, but pressuring the gens safely as well. Ace eats a bird here. However, multiple birds were spent, so if he's going to go down, it's to an M1. Will Ace go down here? Artist is getting quite close. I think they'll make it. They do make it. Ace eating that bird, not going down from it. I think they touched it instead of Artis sending out the bird there. We're gonna send birds out here. Will it hit it? It hits Ace! Wispy with the impeccable Artist aim there. And thing to note is, all three survivors can still be Pain Rest, right? So if we're able to pick up Ace and bring him to that Pain Rest hook, that'll be very, very good. There's even a Pain Rest hook right over here. Are they sending a survivor to try and pick Ace? Someone is nearby. And it's probably Jake, because Renato got swarmed at Shack area. Alright, we're gonna pick Ace, and this is gonna be our second sacrifice of the trial. 1 gen remaining. We have 7 hook stages on the board now, with 3 fresh. And a 1v2 at 1 gen, with 2 Pain Rest charges left. And it's very much looking like a 4K1 here, unless one of these survivors pulls off a very, very long chase. And obviously Wispy has to commit to that chase. But I think if Wispy just plays it, plays it slowly, like, injures the survivors, forcing them to, use resources, and eventually catch some mistakes. This is a very, very, very easy 4K1 if you do it like that, I guess. But we are running out of regression events on the gen at 9. It's looking around like 6 or 7 regression events there. It's going to be blocked by the entity soon. This is such a nasty 3-gen. Good hit there on Renato. Will we get a follow-up? You see Jake. Jake is still healthy. That's very good for them. Like if they attempt to reset and Artist catches them, it will be a really bad spot for them. So they just have to play right now, I think, for those gens. Artist sends a bird here. You can see the gen at Shack is about 75% done. Oh, it looks like Renato's gonna enter chase here, but I don't think they make it anywhere. They're gonna go down here. Ooh. And if we find Jake here, I think that's it. 4K1 for Wispy. Very good stuff. And that will be what do you call that? That'll be a 4K1 for X9. We're gonna have to see how Mercy does on Artist. With a win condition of 4K2 and a tie condition of 4K1. Very good stuff here from Wispy. Very good birds. And very good gen pressure by the survivors. But that 3-gen there at 9, Shack, and 6 was nasty. But yeah, and that will conclude our first game of our first set. And we'll be back soon with our second game. Hope to see you guys then. A lot of value. And the gloves as well, the spread. There are a lot of cool little things you could do with spreading crows to survivors. Looks like we're first chase here with Wispy in main. We got a swarm. They dropped the pallet though, so we could potentially get a second bird here, or I think we're just gonna get an M1. M1 happens. Wispy uses that on-hit movement speed. Ruin goes pretty early, just like last game. Such is the life of Hex Totems. Sometimes they just, yeah. But we're going to take our chase here by 6. Looking very good. We put a bird here on this pallet, get a hit here. However, we're probably not going to be able to get a follow-up unless Bill stops clearing. Ooh, that was a nasty lunge. I wonder if Bing had a factor there. But, yeah, we're in 150 to 200 Bing at NATE, I'm pretty sure. But that was a really good lunge. But yeah, if you're an Artist and you shoot more than 1 bird and swarm a survivor, the cooldown is longer than the repel time. So, because the repel time is 8 seconds, and the cooldown of I believe 2 birds is 9 or 10 seconds. So they have to interrupt their repelling if you want to get a 2 bird hit. However, if you just shoot 1 bird, the cooldown is 5 seconds. So you could do 1 bird into 3 birds to get a hit, maybe. Looks like so we're gonna have the hook there in basement, and we're going to see the 3-gen isn't as nasty, I think, as last game, but it looks like we do have a gen at 9. Is it 9 shack? Is it 9 shack and 6? We're gonna have to. I'll see when we get there. It actually might be 10 shack 6, but we're on chase here with Nancy going up to 3. They do get the unhook here. Five gens still left in a good position. Will we get a swarm? Not quite. Not quite. Okay, looks like Bill is going to be hiding around Shack somewhere. And we do spot him through the door frame. Will we get a quick down here, potentially for our second hooks, and then bringing us closer to our tunnel out? Looks like we have a gen about to pop, I think, at main, and... Ooh, the gen does pop at main. Will Bill, playing Carpile, get a swarm? We get the aura as well. This makes mind gaming a lot easier. However, will we get a follow-up hit? Not quite. Throwing the birds puts it on all 3 bird charges here, so our bird is on a significant cooldown. But I think Ward may be able to get this. This pallet isn't the safest. Bill's trying to make it to this other pallet. Doesn't get lunged on this time. Gets that stun. Very good stuff. We see a bird hit here. Not quite Killer Instinct only. And we have this main area to play now that the generator's done. However, Bill gets trapped here. Not much place to dodge with that, unfortunately. And Bill goes down for our second hook of the trial. We have 3 generators left, our win condition being 4k2. So, like, if they're able to eliminate Bill, like, very soon... Ooh, that gen is very progressed. Looks like the gen at 10 here is very, very, very progressed. And a gen pops at 5. We're at our win condition now. We have to get, like, the momentum going if we want to try and secure this win con. However, it's kind of tough. There is a gen at 2, which is so far away from this 3 gen. And the 3 gen RNG is not as tight as last game, unfortunately, for Ward. However, if Bill is eliminated, and we probably can get like a survivor, like get a quick chase with another survivor, potentially get them like on the hook or in chase. Oh, sorry, on the hook or on the floor. But unfortunately, the gen at 2 does pop. It's like, so we're at our tie con. Possible to tie, but the same plan, right? Get Bill killed, get a survivor on the hook, get into chase on another one, probably slug them, and you could snowball a win out of that. Or you could go for 3 slugs after Bill is dead as well. We're gonna set a bird here at the hook. Will the body block work? We send the bird, but the bird doesn't connect! Oh no! Looks like we're gonna swap here to Nancy. I think to notice, we still have 4 pain reses. We could pain res Bill if we get them. Nancy playing the inside here, doing a really good job. Ooh, trying to mind game that vault, but Nancy's so patient with it. Crazy stuff here by Note. And the last gen pop switch gives the first set to X9. Very good stuff by the survivors. And Ward also. Ward has been hitting some good shots as well. And also been hitting some very crazy lunges, I feel. We get a swarm on Bill. But no, we're gonna commit here to Renato. So we're just playing here for best result at this point. Just, you know, vibing with it. We get a hit on Renato here. Will we see it down? We could see the exit gate here by 9 is open. The light's flashing. Will Renato make it? I think Renato makes it here. Even if they take a hit here, the movement speed gets them out of the gate. That'll be 2 hook stages, 2 hooks with 1 fresh for Ward. And we'll be going to our next set, which is Mastermind. Oh wait, yeah, I just realized Nancy was healed. I think that's adrenaline on her. Oh, and there is our outs. Thank you for watching this first set, and we'll see you guys soon with Mastermind. Very excited for that. Wesker's always fun to watch. Hello and welcome back to Blood Rush League main bracket round 4 with our second set of X9 versus Mercy. We have Mercy's pick this time on Wesker, and once again we have Bolitar / Ward playing our killer. we're on Cold Tower 1, and it looks like we have Agi, Painrest, Corrupt Eruption, and Egg and Jewel Beetle. Ooh, we get a very quick first injury here on Jake, as well as an infection. The Ouroboros infection, making our power come back a little bit quicker. I think it's like 0.5 seconds per charge, less cooldown. Very good to get that going. As well as the 4% hinder and like the ability to get instantly grabbed with wall slam when at red. Max Ouroboros infection. We drop the Paladin Shack and we're looping here at 5. We could hear the gen nearby, like it's quite progressed. I think that's gen mid. Ooh, very good down here, and it hits Wispy. Wispy going into deep wounds for that. We got our first up here, Pain Resting our mid, the gen, like bottom mid. And we spot, I believe, Nancy running away from the gen. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's Renato. Renato running away from the gen. Playing main. Renato vaults, but Ward gets a lovely lunge there, getting that injury on Renato. So we have 2 survivors injured here against Wesker with 1 on hook. We could definitely see why Ward picked this killer. Very confident with it, getting very good power use. Oh. And Bill gets grabbed here at the edge map, and we're gonna get our second Pain Rest charge. A thing to note is the pallet by 5 it is still down, so that's still playable by the survivors. There's still a bit of safety in that loop. However, it looks like we're going to attempt to go up main. We could hear Jake, so Ward can hear Jake right now. They know that they're behind the wall here in main. Will we get there's a potential here for maybe an M2? Not quite. But this is playable. This loop is not the safest, but it's not that bad. Could be worse. However, it does connect to this jungle gym. Oh, but I think Jake got caught out position here. Oh my god, Jake with the move, clean moves there, doing really good footwork and dodging the virulent bound. Oh, unfortunately, Jake gets slapped here as they go into red infection, which isn't that important because the infection will reset when they get hooked. A gen does pop in the background while this is happening. And we will see a hook happen here. Probably going to hook somewhat mid. Looking like this water tower hook. Agi getting huge value here, letting Ward position the hook where they want it to be. Putting them in a very good spot here to like be around this 3 gen here. It's Shack, water tower, and bottom mid. We have two pain res charges spent with 4 generators left and 3 hook states on the board. A potential tunnel out here on Jake is looking very likely. And we are setting up multiple erupts, which is going to be very good for us when we get our next down. The unhook does happen before the people goes through. Bill, however, is fully infected now. 4% hinder is gonna come into play here. They drop the pallet. However, oh my, behavior. Apparently that giant hill is not a hitbox. Slides right off. So, however, we get a follow-up M1 here. Bill wasn't able to get that far with the 4% hinder, thankfully, for Ward. And we do get our 4th hook here. And now we have 2 potential tunnel out targets. Looking very good here for Ward. 4 gens still remaining. 2 people on death hook is very good, as well as popping all of those erupts we set up earlier. We're going to check the gen at 11, see that it's very progressed, and we catch Renato here. Renato only has this edge map palette to play. They're gonna opt to vault back in, take the hit, and use the movement speed to go to like the jungle gym here at 10. We pre-drop the pallet, which Wesker can vault over with bound, and we do see a firecracker drop there as Wesker's walking away. I think that's the gen at main finished. And we are now 3 gens remaining. Oh, sorry, it was not the gen at main. It was the gen at 1 or 1 or 2. Oop, going for a chase here on Jake. Will we potentially get it? Ooh, a very good connection there. And a throw. Jewel Beetle value there. Shortening that distance, Wesker moves forward when he grabs the survivor. Because the recovery time from a throw is significantly less than the recovery time from a slam. Which in some situations, if you throw a survivor max distance towards like edge map or something or a dead zone, you could almost put like a lot of the time just 2-tap them with an M1 right after. Jake will be our first sacrifice here with 2 generators remaining. Bill is in red and fully infected here. Very dangerous for them if they get caught out. They could potentially be insta-downed, and if they do get insta-downed, that will turn the game into a 1v2 and would put the survivors in a very risky spot. However, Bill does manage to get that first aid spray. Spending it there. However, we do know where he is. Ward is looking to engage, get a chase here. We might see a potential edge map wall throw, like wall splat, and that very quickly could result in a very fast chase. Throw towards the inside of the map, so they're closer to resources here. So they do make it to a pallet. Will they? They don't drop the pallet. They drop this pallet, however. So that's a pallet at 12 spent, and they make that window vault. Very good stuff by Wispy. Chase with Nancy, and however, we just forced Nancy off the gen. The pallet still being down here at 10 gives Wispy something to play around. They're going to get some vaults in. Get some mind games potentially by Ward here. Ooh, and I think Wispy gets caught here, and we're looking to see our second sacrifice. 2 generators remaining. 6 substages on the board, 2 fresh hook. 1v2, 1 injured. It might be looking like a 4k2 unless the survivors pop a gen very quickly, which I think they will, because I believe Renato is doing Shack gen right now. And there goes Shack gen. So it is going to be a 4k1, I think. Unless Renato does something crazy, it very much so looks like a 4k1. Oh, we spot Renato immediately. They proc Lithe? That's Lithe. Look at that distance. However, Wesker... Oh, Renato tries to point. Renato goes in front of the hook, and that will be our first game at 4k1. Very good stuff by the survivors. Getting that last gen done at Shack. Such very good gen pressure, and like good work by Renato there to get that 4k2 into a 4k1. This will make our win condition for our next game 4k2 with a Tycon of 4k1, and we're going to see X9 on Wesker. Very good first game here by Ward and Mercy. We'll see you guys soon once we get in there. Yep. Hello, welcome back to Blood Rush League main bracket round 3 of X9 versus Mercy, where we are on set 2, game 2 of our Wesker set. We have Wispy back on Killer for X9, playing Wesker, with a win condition of 4k2 and a tie condition of 4k1. Their survivors last game did a really good job making turning the potential 4k2 there into 4k1, getting that Shack gen done right before they the game ended. We get our first chase here on Bandits, Jake. Ooh, very good charge bound there on Bandit. We do have Ouroboros Tendril as our add-on, so we're like slightly faster when holding our power out, and we have Unicorn Medallion, which is I believe 20% farther first bound but the second bound is 20% shorter. And we have Brutal Strength, Pain Res, Erupt, Corrupt, very, very, a very typical standard perk set. Very solid one too. I like Brutal. I think Brutal Strength is a really good pick on this map for Wesker. There's some pallets that are really tough. Like Wesker struggles around some of the pallets here, and being able to kick them fast is very good. We're gonna spot a survivor doing bottom main here, and our corrupt spread is at top here, and that's a decent 3-gen, I think, at top. At 10, sorry, at 11 main and 2. Not much gens at the bottom. We have gen top mid, bottom mid, like, yeah. We have a survivor clearing. Currently, I think we're progressing the bottom mid gen. It should be about half by now, I think. Top mid gen is regressing at about 25%. We spot 3 survivors here. We know Ace is up top. We know Renato is over here in mid, and then Cheryl was also mid. Oh, sorry, not Ace. It was Jake up top. My bad. Because Ace is down here doing the bottom mid gen, which is I think 70%. What a stun by Ward there! Oh my. Very good. So yeah, it's about 75%. We're gonna go kick that, get that regressing. We're probably looking to down a survivor soon here, get those erupts happening, and then possibly get a Pain Res hook. Hitting that bottom gen with Pain Res would be such a big momentum swing for Wispy here. However, it's looking to be back at like 75 to 80%, maybe even 90. The survivors are doing such a good job pre-leaving and then moving back to the gen when Wesker leaves. And then they're very coordinated with their communication as well. You can definitely see why Mercy picked this killer. Both their killer and survivors are both very practiced on verse against and as Wesker. It's very cool. Bandit playing the filler here. The gen at bottom mid does pop. And another thing to note is Renato is fully infected. Bandit goes down here. And it was 2 M2, so they're also infected. So that is 1 second less off of Ouroboros. The virulent bound, sorry. Because of Ouroboros. Renato does clear. So it's on back to 0.5 per charge. This is very clearly a balanced play. Balanced play by Cheryl. Plays around the terrain here to not get M2'd. However, they're in a bit of a dead zone here. And a wall throw? This might be a 2-tap. Oh my, it is. This is the danger of like being near the edge map against Wesker. If you get thrown up against the edge map wall, it almost certainly will result in a 2-tap unless there's like a resource literally right there, like a filler pallet, a Z-wall maybe. But even in like a Z-wall, it's like very dangerous to play. Very bad position to be in, very scary. Our second hook of the trial does go through, so now we have 2 fresh. We do have 2 Pain Res charges spent with 2 left. Very good stuff here for Wispy, getting some good gen regression. Is that a sprint burst, I think, from Ace there? Getting some distance, but not quite making that pallet, unfortunately. They do get slapped, and they do get infected, so they're going to have to spend another first aid spray on that. Yeah. And, like, a lot of times it doesn't matter too much, but in the longer, more drawn-out games, a thing to note is that there are a limited amount of first aid sprays on the map. And once they're all gone, it's a bit scary. Being 4% hindered, insta-down by Ouroboros, Wesker having to, 0.5 second quicker charge time per infected survivor. We're going to chase here with Cheryl, so it looks like Cheryl will be our tunnel out target this game. Scroily, who's doing a really good job playing the Shack, by the way. Making it 2 loops around, and then we're back to this filler here. Will we get away with this filler? They're gonna vault! Unfortunately, Wispy wins that Mind Game. Gets a very good M1. Very quick break here with Brutal, and we will be seeing Cheryl go to second hook. Ace here is now fully infected. They're going to have to clear soon, unless they want to play a very dangerous game with Wesker. Oh, Ace is over here, coming for a body block. This is a dangerous position for Ward. If they get M2'd here, it could be an insta-down. Will we see Wispy land the M2 here? This might be a big thing. It's not a slam. It was a throw. So it was not an insta-down. If that tree was, I think, half a meter closer, that would have been an insta-down. Oh my. Oh no, we're getting stuck by the car. I'll be so for real. Every time I play Wesker, all of my bounds look like that, getting stuck on random terrain. That's a bit unlucky, but we are still in position to tunnel out Cheryl here, who's still injured, still infected. We got a vault over that, which means we get a bit more distance here. I'm not sure if she makes it, but Renato coming here to save the day, taking that hit for Cheryl, buying her another loop around main possibly. However, we get a very good M2 hit here and Slammer, and they will finish that top mid generator from the looks of it. We get an M1 on Ace, very good. We could potentially see a follow-up here on Ace, get another Pain Res. We are at our win condition here, however, at 2 generators. So if Wispy is able to, you know, get the survivors dead here, which it's possible. Ace is fully infected and injured. Renato is injured. The only one in a like safe position I feel is Jake, who is healthy. Very good M1 there, and it looks like okay, we're gonna see a pick here. Perhaps we're gonna cash in a Pain Res. We don't have Agi here though, so it's gonna take a bit longer to get the hook. However, there is a hook here at 11, and we do get that, sending our third Pain Res charge to that to the most progressed gen. Gonna go and find some survivors now. What? Ward gets pulled very quickly here by Renato, and it looks like they activated Clean Break. So Ward here injured will become healthy again very like relatively soon. I think it's like 60 seconds. Very good pre-drop. However,
Is that all you have?
Wispy gets that. Yeah, a bit hard. Like holding pallets like that on ping is sometimes a bit scary because like you have a lot, not a lot less, but you have less of a reaction time available to you. They get a very good M2 down there. Get that final Pain Res charge to the generators. Everyone, all 4 fresh hooks secured. This is definitely doable. Ward is gonna heal very soon though. And we get into chase here with Bandit. Ooh, very quick injure on Bandit. If we get a down here on Bandit, we could possibly come back and get those survivors. It looks like Renato got unhooked. So it is looking like second win. So they will be going back to healthy very quickly. 3 survivors infected, by the way. So this is 1.5 seconds per charge less on the cooldown. So 3 seconds to go from 0 to full charges is like 3 whole seconds quicker. And however, as I say that, a bit of caster's curse. Both survivors cleanse their infections. A very good time to cleanse infections too. While someone's on Wesker's shoulder, right? You can't like dash across the map and get into chase immediately with them, giving them time to like cleanse and then move to a different position to stealth. However, it looks like they're gonna be pressuring main gen, and ooh, Ace here gets into chase. I'm not sure if Wispy intended to vault that pallet. I think it might have been just a bit of, you know, a bit hit, the pallet's hitbox being a bit big. Same with Bound. They do get the unhook because of that. However, we get a double slam here, sending Bandit into deep wounds, which gets rid of their endurance and injuring Ward in the process. Now 2 infected survivors. So that's 1 second off the cooldown. Will we get a Bound here? A vault into a body block into an M1. Oh my god, Wispy. Very good body blocking. We could hear the gen here in main is very progressed. Wesker comes up to see. We hear a survivor drop that was not balanced landing, as you could hear the scream as they fell. We're going to kick the gen, however, no eruption because it's still on cooldown. Will we see a quick down here? It looks like they're probably going to be picking up Ace soon. They do. And we're on chase now with Renato. Very good game sense, by the way, for Wispy. Instead of picking Ace to hook them, going to main to stop that gen progress. Because if they did pick and the gen finished, that would put them towards their tie condition. Ooh. Very good M2 there. Getting all 3 survivors injured now. 2 infected. Seeing how this goes. We could hear a survivor somewhere in main. They drop. Not balanced landing again, as we could hear the scream. And crazy bounce here. And Ward goes on the hook now. Looking like a hook towards top mid. By this completed generator here in top mid. Very good place to hook so you could defend your generators. We know that the main gen is very progressed. And we know Bandit is fully infected, 4% hinder and all that. Gonna break this, and we're gonna see the unhook happen. And will we get a bound here? Ooh, that was almost the spool blocking that second bound as well. It's probably Unicorn Medallion also there, making that second bound up 20% shorter. Not as good. 3 infections here. Bandit fully infected. They must be running out of first aid sprays at this point. It's looking like... Ooh. Looks like Bandit might be going down here, and Eruption happens to main gen. It's gonna send that regression, take 10% progress away from that. We could see the gen here at 8, by the way, is about 75%. Like, it is still possible to hit this Daikon. Like, if the survivors take Wesker for a, just like a 20-30 second chase, they will see a gen pop, and we could potentially be at our Daikon here in a 1v2. We're gonna kick this gen up here, and we're gonna go straight back to the gen at 8 here. We see Ace run away with Sprint Burst, and we could hear the gen is very progressed. Ace has to take this chase really well, and it could guarantee a Daikon if it does go well. However, Wesker vaults the window. The Shack Pallet is spent here, and Ace is now 4% hindered. However, a slap on Ace on the window. Eruption triggers. We see the aura of Renato. Wispy is going straight there. Will Renato finish the gen? That's the question. They're just going to hard stick this. The gen looks like it sounds very near completion here. It's about 90%, 99% done, and the gen does not finish, giving us a 4K2 and our win condition here for X9. Oh my god, that was such a close one. The gen literally was like at 99. Holy hell. Very good stuff here by Wispy. If that chase at Shack with Ace lasted like 2-3 seconds longer, that would have been Daikon for them. But with that, it looks like we will be getting our set and the match to X9. Very good stuff. Thank you all for being here, and we will be seeing our Wesker Mori here on Ace. Yeah, very good plays by both survivors and the killers. In very wonderful game. Very two strong teams playing against each other. It's always fun to cast for and watch. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and thank you all for being here. And see you possibly in the next Blood Rush League match. I'm Mal ANZ. You can find me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.